Lucasfilm just can't stop, won't stop making material that nobody wants to see. Kathleen Kennedy has determined that we are going to receive a Rey movie. It doesn't matter if you will not go see it. She is going to make it one way or the other. And perhaps the reason that it's being made actually goes far beyond. Yes, we think that this is actually an Iger initiative brought forth when he came back to the Walt Disney Company as the CEO. So folks, we've got the Rey movie synopsis. It has leaked out. We're going to show you how it played out and how quickly the media attempted to spin it, hide it, and clean up in aisle 5. All right, folks, welcome back. It is the WDW Pro channel, a place where we are excited to have each and every one of you. You matter, and we are so thankful that you have elected to spend your time with us. Today, we are sharing a clip from the Pro Show where we talk all about the Rey movie, the synopsis that leaked, and an inside industry kind of publication, one that is not easily swayed to put out crazy rumors or speculation, but rather is just pumping out the very intra-industry info to the people who would be best served by knowing the information. We're talking about industry workers who care about this sort of thing and want to find out, how can I get a job on that production? As soon as that information began to leak out, of course, the kibosh was put out. And Disney and Lucasfilm, we believe, began to reach out and tell these various media outlets, put a lid on it, cancel it, stop it. We need to clean this up. This is going to damage us. And so even though they will not say a thing about Leslie Headland and the Acolyte because they do not fear it at all, they feared this leak for some reason, we believe, and began to put out articles quickly saying, it's not real, it's not real. We've got the live reaction that we had on the Pro Show, as well as our response as the attempt to cover it up began to roll out. Folks, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and stick it to the algorithms. You need to do that by clicking that notification bell. We're going to give it to you right now. Hop in, strap in. This is how it all went down. Please note that there is already a cover-up attempt going on in the media, and I'm getting notifications about that from some of my sources out there telling me that the word has gone out to the media, fix this, hide this, convince people this isn't real. But I'm here to tell you that it is. New Star Wars film to feature Rey Skywalker as mentor to 2 young students. And it is going to be the worst of Kathleen Kennedy. Hang on, we're going to explain how. And a new update from Production Weekly. Production Weekly is a very inside the weeds, inside the industry publication. They are not often connected with any kind of crazy sources, crazy rumors, crazy stuff. They're literally just out there trying to tell people inside the industry what's going to be produced, when. It's to help you get a job. It's to let you know what's going on. And so this Production Weekly synopsis that was leaked out into the press states that Rey will mentor 2 young students, a boy and a girl. As their training progresses, it becomes evident that the girl possesses extraordinary abilities destined to emerge as a future leader. It says nothing of the boy, and I've got some thoughts on that. Before we go any farther,
of course,
let's hand it over to the panel. Guys, here's what I think is happening. In Star Wars lore, you have to have a Jedi and you have to have Sith. And I think they are setting this up after the fall of Palpatine, although Rey is a Palpatine, so how does that work? Well, it's pretty stupid. But I think they're setting this up so that the boy and the girl, one will be the Jedi, that's probably the girl, and the Sith will be the boy. This is part and parcel with what Kathleen Kennedy likes to do. I think this is where this is going. I think this is why they don't want the synopsis out there. In fact, I think it is panic central over at Lucasfilm. I have emailed 2 contacts over at Lucasfilm to see what they have to say about it. I have not yet heard anything. If we get information during the show, I will forward it to you. But to the panel, and Tom, I saw that look of amazement. You're flabbergasted that Kathleen Kennedy would possibly throw Missandei back into Star Wars, but, well...
No, actually, that was like fake shock. Was it a good job, though? Yeah, no, this is the most... Of course...
Acting!
Of course. Rey is going to train the next bestest ever. Of course.
Of course. And of course, Luke isn't. And we know, by the way, folks, from what Mark Hamill had to say,
Who are you talking about?
He has no thoughts exactly. Who's that memory hold
Nobody
guy?
remembers Luke Skywalker.
But he has no plans to come back for this movie. He said so. Remember, he said he is retired from Luke Skywalker, that he is not doing it anymore. So,
which goes right along with your reporting. So, bravo, sir.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
And by the way, when was it that you first reported that the Rey movie was happening?
Well, the Rey movie, we exclusively revealed that here on the channel about a month before it was made public at Star Wars Celebration. Of course, we reported accurately what was going to happen at Star Wars Celebration. We said that Daisy Ridley would be there. We said that that there was a Rey movie coming. We gave great specificity as to how this will play out. There has been even more information that's come out about that since. But yes, we had on Lauren Connor. Everybody loves Lauren Connor. It's like everybody loves Raymond. Everybody loves Lauren Connor.
Everybody
and we had the
Lauren.
That's right. That's a great impression. Please do that again.
Everybody loves Lauren.
And we also had the folks from Echo Base Network on, and Valiant Renegade was actually in the background when we first revealed that Daisy Ridley was returning to Star Wars, again exclusively on this channel. Valiant Renegade actually arranged that video, and he was eating popcorn, and we could see him, or at least I could, but the rest of the panelists could not. And he's not visible in the video, but I could see him eating popcorn because he was watching as Nick was getting sicker and sicker, realizing what the big reveal was with Rey coming back and them doing this this sequel movie. So that was a lot of fun to reveal it, although I apologize to be the bearer of bad news. This is more of it. Stephen, what are your thoughts on this latest leak where we've got the synopsis out there now, and I think it's damaging to Star Wars. I think they know it. They're trying to hide it.
I have two things. First of all, I apologize that since I'm a content creator, I don't think I will be able to speak after this Sunday. Sorry, making a joke. And I feel very bad for Rose Tico's kids. I don't think they should be used to prop up another Kathleen Kennedy failure with Rey Palpatine at the head.
Listen, if Rose Tico and Finn, if these are the two kids that belong to those characters, I tell you,
amazing.
I will do 5 videos a day. 5 videos a day to try to cover the anger that people will have towards that. You heard it here, folks. Well, what are we going to call them?
The Finn
What do you get? The what?
The Finn Ticos.
The Finn Tico kids. So there you have it. Rey is going to train the Finn Tico kids, and one of them is a little Sithling. Fun.
It's imploding.
It is not yet clear who will play the 2 young students, but it is likely that they will be new characters to the Star Wars universe. However, the synopsis does suggest that the film will focus on the next generation of Jedi and how Rey will help to shape them into the heroes that the galaxy needs. Now, here's the key thing, folks, that you got to know. This next paragraph really tells us what's happening. Production Weekly states that the film is scheduled to begin production in April 2023, which means that it could be released as early as 2026. I would not hold my breath for that one. However, the fact that Production Weekly is releasing that it's going into production in April 2023 likely means that Disney is attempting to get the reservations in for the places that they intend to film this movie. They're probably going to have to film in all kinds of different locations internationally, etc. Not only that, but with that kind of a time scale, we're talking about 9 months for the Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm to begin building those sets. There's all kinds of construction that has to go into place. There's all kinds of storyboarding, concept art. This also means probably, given the fact that it seems to have gotten ahead of the writer's strike, that the Lindelof script that came that came into being and then we thought may have been scrapped, but we reported no, was not the case, that indeed it was not scrapped. And Stephen Knight, that's the name, right, Jonas?
Yes. I need to throw in something else here. There's a typo on this article that was
2024.
It is 2024.
Yes, and I hope I said that correctly. I apologize if I didn't as I was reading it. But yeah, so Stephen Knight is coming in, and we think may have just sharpened this script up, but that this is largely probably the Lindelof script. That's what this timeline seems to indicate. So anyway, it seems like the Rey movie is moving forward. I don't think even if Kathleen Kennedy leaves, that this thing is going to be wiped away. I think that it could be delayed if Kathleen Kennedy leaves. I believe that it could be possibly rewritten, but given that we understand this to be a Bob Iger initiative, I think this is going to happen, and I think that Well, let's step back for a moment from this. Let's step back from this because we need to chat about something else that's in the news. Here's the other thing that's going on. We don't even have time, honestly, to go to the article. We'll just talk about it. Kathleen Kennedy has said in the press that Phoebe Waller-Bridge could, in fact, go on to lead Indiana Jones, right, the franchise. And that is set up in the Dial of Destiny. We're not trying to do any kind of spoilers here. Exactly. But here's the thing I'm seeing. I have said that I think Kathleen Kennedy's time at Lucasfilm is coming to an end. We have seen two of her biggest allies in the past week exit the company in rather dramatic fashion, those being Christine McCarthy, the CFO, and now the Chief Diversity Officer, Ton Newton, has exited as well. Ton Newton not even receiving an opportunity to release her own statement. That tends to mean that she was hurriedly exited out the door. Now, given what's going to happen with Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny, losing hundreds of millions of dollars probably, given that Kathleen Kennedy is going to be greatly exposed by that, I have a feeling that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is only going to be in future indie content that is of the weirdo fan fiction variety. And I have a feeling that this Rey movie, if it comes to pass, and I believe it will, I don't think that it's going to come to pass under Kathleen Kennedy, and I don't think it's going to come to pass under whatever form it currently is in. I think this is simply too awful, and Disney cannot continue to lose money as they are currently at the box office. So let me hand it to the panel. That's a lot to say. That's a lot to think about. But what do you all think? Have we hit rock bottom to the point that perhaps Kathleen Kennedy can't manifest a Rey film this bad?
Anything's possible. Look at Pixar. And I don't think they've hit rock bottom yet. They haven't. No, I'm not making that joke. Next on the panel?
I think there's no way that Kathleen Kennedy stays until 2026 or whatever it is to see this film released. She's just done too much that's negative for the company. She has shown herself incapable of producing a film over and over again. And when she does finally push a film out the door, it's something that's been remade several times over to the point where I think while we think Indiana Jones is probably at around 350 million, and we're going to investigate those figures farther, the word around the street is that maybe The Rise of Palpatine cost around 500 million.
I wouldn't be surprised. They're still shooting it, actually, Jonas.
Oh my goodness!
They're still reshooting that thing.
You know, if George Lucas was still there, I would believe that they're still shooting scenes for The Rise of Palpatine. You know, and a lot of this is kicking against what the media narrative is, and kicking against what the official Lucasfilm narrative is. But it's just what you have to do when you're trying to report the facts, is to say, hey, this looks like this is happening. Sorry that this is early. Sorry that your movies are too expensive. Maybe at some point the regular media will catch up.
Yes, and we will have more information about the Acolyte later in the show. We're going to get to the Acolyte. We're going to get to what is going on at Lucasfilm. Again, I believe that Kathleen Kennedy's tenure is coming to a close simply because of the financial position that Disney is in, which is drastically different than any place we've seen them in modern history, and where Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is going. But the Rey movie... Can
I say I do disagree that we are...
Yes, Tom.
I think we're going to get the Rey movie, no matter what.
Yes, well, I agree with you, yes.
Because I ain't worried about Kathleen Kennedy. I'm worried about Dave Filoni at this point. Kathleen Kennedy's done, like you guys just said. She's not the future of Lucasfilm.
No.
Filoni is, though.
Well, can I say this? This is funny to me. Okay, so I made Jonas laugh earlier today when we were talking about what the show would entail. And of course, at that time, the Rey movie synopsis had not yet leaked. And again, for those of you just joining us, the Rey movie synopsis is out there. It leaked through a inside the industry trade publication, not usually viewed by people outside the industry. The attempt to clean up in aisle 5 has already begun. Some of the media, they're already out there saying, no, this is not real. This is not real. Look the other way. Oh, it's real. But before we were even into that today, and we were going over the show prep, I told Jonas, in regards to the idea that Star Wars, that the sequel trilogy would be remade one day. That's a new rumor that's out there, or maybe it's just a resurfacing rumor. But I said, that's sort of like if you see someone at a major vehicle accident, and there's some idiot with a jar of mustard and tweezers running up to try to fix a dislocated arm. Don't let the idiot get anywhere near anybody. Those are not the tools for the situation. I don't know what tools, I don't know what those are for in any situation, but those are not the tools for that. And that's how I feel about Lucasfilm with Star Wars. I don't want them to remake the sequel trilogy because I'm not convinced they wouldn't do even worse. They're like the idiot with the mustard and the tweezers running to fix, someone who's been, who knows, badly mangled. Lucasfilm is completely and utterly inept. I want them just to stop. Just stop. Don't do anything.
I think, honestly, Filoni, from what I can get from his body language, his beats, and what he's been going on with, I think he's just trying to basically keep Kathleen Kennedy off his back. I think he is really much more invested with Filoni. I think he's playing the political game to make sure he doesn't get himself accidentally canned. If you are invested in trying to keep your job to the absolute nth degree like Kathleen Kennedy has been, you're trying to be the person that's closing the doors when the company finally closes. Now, we know she has this weird fifth wave feminist, maybe infinity wave feminist going on here, where she has her agenda she's trying to push. But on the same token, I think she's trying to put in so many projects that cannot be ignored, so she cannot be ignored.
I think that you probably have a point there, and that she's trying to rally support amongst the fans. I think the problem is that even amongst the people that support this, the numbers are just not there, it seems like, to support a Disney Plus streaming show. Even at this point,
well, it's better to have an extremely passionate audience than have a very large audience.
Yes,
we've seen that in the past over and over, and she's trying to kowtow to that very passionate audience that will defend her come life or death.
Right, and we believe that's a small audience and getting smaller. But you're right, there are those who are fanatical about her vision, and well, maybe half of them actually work at Lucasfilm at this point. But Frost, what I am hearing is that perhaps Kathleen Kennedy knows that her time is coming to a close. I don't know who believes that or not, but I am hearing that they're trying to push through so many of these projects so that her legacy can be fomented as she exits the door. And they want to get these as far along as possible so it's harder to cancel them. Jonas, we actually heard earlier today that, we heard the way that Kathleen Kennedy approached James Mangold to find out if he would do a Star Wars movie. Can you lead us through the history of that real quick?
Yes. So apparently on the Indiana Jones set, and this wasn't a story that I was specifically focused on, but it is consistent with the idea that maybe she's not so creative herself.
She has no vision. This will demonstrate it.
Yes, that Mangold suggested on set that if he were to get his own Star Wars film, and maybe she was fishing for an idea here, that he said, well, what I would probably try to do is do like the 10 Commandments of the Force.
And she hired him on the spot.
Yes.
Yes. That is what is insane to me. She didn't come to James Mangold. She did not go to anybody else and say, here's my idea for where I want to go with Star Wars. She literally walked up to James Mangold and said, this Indiana Jones thing is going great, minus Harrison Ford nearly being killed and being out for 6 to 8 weeks with a broken shoulder when we put him on a moving train. So other than that, since we're just sitting around here, hanging out in Europe, what would you think about doing a Star Wars movie? And James Mangold said, I don't know, maybe do a 10 Commandments style thing about the Force. I don't know. And she was like, you're hired. That's the best thing I've heard all day. Wonderful. She has no vision. She's out to hire anybody that she thinks could produce anything approximating a Star Wars movie. She doesn't know what she's doing.
Pro, I think that Mangold is doing this as more of a cleanup job, because this Rey movie
Indy
has
or
been
Star Wars.
Well, Star Wars after Indy. I think that the whole Rey movie thing that and him directing a movie is, they have been trying to get this Rey movie going, evidently. And we forget that Mangold, as bad as he's handled Indiana Jones and whatever comes forward from there, he is a veteran. The guy has made decent movies in the past.
Oh, yeah, great movies.
Yeah, so something happened somewhere and he's become a yes man for Kathleen Kennedy or whatever. That's what I'm feeling here. Because he was also supposed to do a Boba Fett movie back in the day.
Tom, I think his breaking point was when he attacked the Salty Nerd podcast. I think that's where he kind of lost his mind.
That's what I'm saying. He was clearly coming off as a simp at that point for this. It's like, dude, really?
Yes,
Absolutely.
Kathleen Kennedy is his Pokemon. Yes.
And also, while we've heard conflicting reports in both directions about that, both Lucasfilm denying and other indications that James Mangold was definitely working on a Boba Fett movie, despite
There's
the
more
fact that Lucasfilm said, no, we're not.
That was revisionist history. That was BS. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we hope that you enjoyed that clip from the Pro Show. We love bringing you the Pro Show. If you would like full access to it, of course, it is available when we go live and then 48 hours afterwards. But also, members of the channel receive full access to the entire library, the entire Pro archives, to retrieve those old episodes and hear how it went down each and every single time. Folks, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and you can stick it to the algorithms when you click it. We're talking about the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. We care about what you think. We covet your comments. We would love to hear your thoughts on the Rey movie. Will it actually come to fruition? Will it not? And as always, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.